Hey guys, and welcome to another great Saturday Mega Wellness Show. I am Dell with Mega Sports. We've got a packed show. I want to quickly welcome my co-host for today, Sam Montclair from On Running. Hello, good morning, Sam.
Hey, good morning, Dell. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Now, you are in a remote location in Connecticut. Is that correct today?
I am, yeah. I'm in North Haven, Connecticut, at my parents' house right now. So, yeah, a little bit cooler temps up here, than down in the southeast. But yeah, I'm stoked to be here, man, and stoked y'all are having me on the show. So thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to have you on the show today specifically to talk about how to prepare runners for cooler temperatures and some, I guess, less daylight. So that's a segment that we're going to have later in the show. And I know you're also not just visiting parents today, you actually had a race that you went to.
Yeah, for sure. We there was a race out in New Jersey at Lincoln Park. It was kind of this, I don't want like secretive, but it was put on by this company, the Trials and Miles, sponsored by Tracksmith, and just went out there to run a fast 5K, and there was a lot of elite competition out there, and it was a blast, man. It was the first 5K in a while, so had a really good time. And Yeah, man, it was cool. It's cool that races are starting to open back up, and we're starting to get a lot more of that stuff. I've missed it quite a bit, so yeah, it was good,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to jump into your background real quick, but I think what you just said is really important. I know as much as we want people to be safe and we want to promote safety and wellness and keep everyone as safe and well as possible, it is very hard for our racing community. We've been all kind of waiting and waiting for safe races to open up, and more power to those event organizers and those race organizers that have figured out a way to work within the guidelines, to work with their city officials to get those races going. So more power to them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's amazing, and the fact that they were able to do it in a safe way, and everyone was warming up with masks, and yeah, the only time people weren't wearing masks were on the track, basically when you're running. So it was great to see the community come together, and yeah, that's a
Yeah,
blast,
yeah.
man.
I
So
want to jump
all
into
that
a little
stuff's
bit
on the
about.
way.
Oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, you go ahead. I was done.
I was just going to start bragging about you, so please don't let me stop myself.
Oh no, man. I'm not sure if there's much to brag about. Yeah, no, I mean, I love obviously love running. Trying to stay competitive with it on the track, and more so on the roads now at some of the longer distances. So, yeah, feel free to ask away. But yeah, definitely have some modest PRs, but nothing too crazy. Got some lofty goals for the future, and really want to get after it. So, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
not very good at bragging about myself.
yeah, I'm going to interrupt you there so I can start bragging. So I know, obviously, one, let's talk about what your role is over at On. You are a tech rep for the Carolinas, so you work with all of our stores. All of our active play experts love you because they not only get to learn more about this innovative brand called On, but they also get your expertise and your experience as a runner. I mean, you studied uh, uh, physiology. That's a hard word for me to say. At the Southern Connecticut State University, and you've got a minor in nutrition and diet. Diet. Say it for me, Sam.
Dietetics.
There you go. There you go. I can't say those words. Um, and of course, you were an avid runner through school, doing cross country, indoor and outdoor track. And then, more importantly, you took that passion and made it really a somewhat career for yourself. I know you're working very hard towards getting to that 2024 Olympics. Why don't you talk about that journey?
Oh, for sure, man. Super nice of you. So I mean, my goal is to qualify for the Olympic trials. I would have no chance of making an Olympic team, but to be able to qualify for the trials would be pretty awesome. And I just kind of started my marathon journey after school, and in college. I was unfortunately injured a lot. Like, I was able to compete healthily for about 2 years without getting any injuries. So I definitely kind of sparked a little bit of a fire inside, and I wanted to compete after college too. And on the roads, I was able to maintain to stay healthy, no injuries, and kept getting faster and faster, and got my halftime down pretty well. It's like a 106, and my marathon, my debut was at like 2:29, and so I think I have a ways to go, but just learning like the whole nutrition aspect of the marathon. It's such a complex event, man. I can drop quite a bit of time. So definitely taking it day by day and step by step. Certainly, I have the utmost respect for anybody doing that, or any runner, training for a goal, because I mean it's tough, man. But yeah, no, it's been a great journey so far, and I'm lucky to have people like Omega, or companies like Omega Sports, and all the people in Omega who support and cheer me on, and my coworkers and my family. So it's been great. And the fact that I can mesh that with work too, and I get to talk to the active play experts about running, and everyone else about it, and get to share my passion is awesome. So honestly, it never feels like I'm working, man. I'm always doing something I'm really passionate about, and it's fun for me. So
Well, that's good. I mean, I know you're modest saying that you don't think you're going to make the team, but I don't know. You might try on this great new brand called On. Not anymore, but this great brand called On that'll help you go a little faster.
Oh yeah, I cannot say I would make the team, but I would love to make the Olympic trials. I think it's a big goal of mine, and I would just love that. But I can't say that, man. There's so many great runners out there. But yeah, no, I really appreciate your support, Del. You gassed me up way too much, but that's great, man. But yeah, this company they're on to something, man. They got some great cheese.
On to something for sure. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about what's happening over at On later in the show, and then of course your segment that we invited you on to the show to talk about is really to help runners who are, this morning, at least down here in the Carolinas, it was pretty chilly this morning, so. As we're starting to transition into cooler weather, we want to make sure that we're having a conversation with our runners on things that they may want to consider a little bit differently, some new things that they may haven't tried, or just some reminders for folks as we start transitioning into that cooler weather. Now, next week, we'll probably be back up into the high 80s or mid 80s, but we definitely want to start having that conversation. I know that On has some great gear. We're going to talk about the need to, make sure that you're checking your shoes, because, replacing those shoes after so many miles, especially in the summertime, might be, you might be due for that. So there's some fun things that we're going to talk about later in the show to help runners. And of course, as we've talked, you have such an experience as a runner. I know you're just every day out there putting up those miles. So we'd love to kind of pick your brain about how to help runners get ready for that cooler weather.
Oh, for sure. I'm happy to. So thanks.
Well, good. All right, well, let's jump into my Omega news. If you want to just hang with me for a second here, and feel free to do a little dance or a little what when I say some of these fantastic new announcements here. And by the way, I want to just quickly give On a shout out. We've got Kristen Carlock. You may know her. She is Love My Ons from Omega Sports. Of course, that's the only place she's going to get them is Omega Sports. Because there's no other place to get On other than at Omega Sports, where of course you can earn your faster Mega rewards every time you buy a pair of On, $5.50 that you spend. So that's a little business there. But from a Mega News standpoint, what I want to do is make sure that people are opening up their emails. This weekend, we've launched a new program called our Omega Finals, or our Mega Finals. And what this is we've asked our active play experts in the stores to gather up all these great running essentials, fantastic sports gear, workout wear, all these things that have been kind of floating around our stores that we are going to now put at our lowest final prices. So we're calling this Mega Finals. So when you go into a Mega Sports this weekend, you're going to have the luxury of seeing hundreds and hundreds of these items on sale now, less than $20. So these are really rock bottom final prices that we're offering up. We've gathered them together so that way when you shop your Mega Sports store, because you're going for that great new pair of On running shoes, because I know Sam's going to talk it up later in the show, and you're going to be like, I have to try these shoes. I have to get a new pair. You'll also be able to pick up some extra tees, some shorts, maybe some underwear. There's some great things that we have priced ready to just add on to your cart or add on to your shopping experience, because now's the time to do it. We've got finals happening this weekend. It is for a limited time. Selection varies per store. So if you are in a certain area and you see your neighborhood sports store down the street, go there, find out what we have available, talk to the active play experts. We've got some great things happening with our Mega Finals. And of course, we always have great new shoe arrivals. So talk to your active play experts about those shoe arrivals. Hey, Sam, I don't know if you saw your email today, but we talked about the Cloud Swift in our email today.
I did see, man. Yeah, that's I mean, one of my favorite shoes by far. But yeah, no, I love it, man.
Yeah,
Check
what I
out
love
those
about
clouds.
Taylor Swift is that that's the shoe that you can run in and you can run around town in. And we'll talk a little bit about why that's important as well.
Sure.
Yep. All right. And then Sam, I want to jump into every week we do a great segment called InstaFaves, or at least I call it great because I get to pick the selections. So I wanted to kick off our InstaFaves with a fun video of a collection of videos that we posted on our Instagram over the last several weeks. And there are three videos that I'm going to play, and I'm going to let you choose which video best represents you when we come back.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
right, let's go ahead and play the videos. All right, Sam, let's hear your answer.
Oh man. So first off, Dill, I want to say that, when I'm up at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning scrolling on my phone through Instagram, I've seen every one of those videos. So that just made me laugh. But gosh, man, all those guys, they were so darn coordinated and, they looked great out there. I probably would go with Bob Burt, the third video, because I mean, I'm on the track doing drills and stuff like that. Actually, I follow him on Instagram. I think he puts out some great stuff. So the first two, man, were just they were out of this world. The trampoline thing was awesome. The jump rope thing was also very cool. But yeah, I'd go with the third one. Just because that's something I can relate to. Yeah, I do those drills quite frequently. So that's
I need you to do a,
yeah,
I'm going to challenge
that's what I'd be, man. What about you, Del?
I would say probably the jump rope, but not as sexy or coordinated, but definitely to that beat.
Yeah, man, those guys.
I'm going to challenge you, Sam. I'm going to have you do your own running workout to Africa, the Toto song. I need you to do you need to, like, for Halloween, I need you to be that running Toto Africa like warm up. I need you to do that for us at Omega.
Oh, you got it, man. Yeah, I'll Susan and I will get out there. We'll both be doing it together. We'll get the little camera out in front of the Park Road location or something, and we'll do it big.
You think I'm joking? We already have a video shoot scheduled for Friday next week. So just guess what you're going to be doing.
That's it, man. I'll bring my stuff. We'll be good to go. So that was cool, man.
All right, let's jump into some of our other InstaFaves. So on a serious note, we definitely have some great things that we want to share. I know at Omega Sports, we've got, we're all excited about some new tennis gear that's come into our store. So we dropped into our Greensboro store, and I'm going to let Braxton take over now, one of our active play experts, to talk about the new T22 and T22-5 tennis shoe from Prince. And I think he's going to also end with a new string that is carried in our stores as well. So if you can indulge us for a minute, Sam, and we're going to talk a little tennis right now.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, this is Braxton from Omega Sports. Here to present the T22. This one is wider in the toe box. It also has the good cushioning that you need. It is also durable and reliable for you tennis players. Also have the T22.5. This one here is a little bit lighter weight than your T22. It is a little bit more narrow in the toe box for you. It is also still durable and has the cushioning that you need. Both less than $100. So great prices for you here. And just a reminder for you tennis players, we do string tennis rackets here in the store. If it is the colorful, vibrant Prince Prism string for you, or any of the other strings that we have in store, we can string those rackets for you.
All right. Well, we want to thank Braxton for jumping in on camera here. He was a great sport, talking about the T22 and the T22.5 from Prince. That is what we call a neighborly exclusive, Sam. Let me explain that to you if you don't know what a neighborly exclusive is. A neighborly exclusive means that you can get those shoes in our stores. We can't sell them online, so they're not available to us online for our customers, but you can go to your neighborhood sports store. We do have select stores that carry them in the stores, but any store, any of our active play experts, if you are interested in the T22 or the T22.5, which I'm told for a lot of our tennis lovers is almost a cult favorite. So we're super excited to have that shoe back in our stores. Of course, that Prism string has been selling off the racks. Everyone has seen that. Why not stand out on the courts? So a fun string that can really kind of add a little extra excitement when you're back on the courts there. All from Prince. That is our neighborly exclusive, only in stores. And just remember, every time you shop in Mega Sports, you can get our faster Mega Rewards when you shop. So if you're looking at other places and you want to go online and let your fingers do your buying, just remember, you definitely want to take advantage of our neighborly exclusive because your money does go further with your faster Mega Rewards. Hey, Sam, you got another comment here. You are blowing up our chat here. It says, Cindy Keller-Smith says, tried a pair of On Cloud surfers like running on springy air. Love.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite. I mean, I guess they're all my favorites, man. But yeah, the Surfer is a great shoe. I'm glad you love it, Cindy. It is one of the first. It was the first On shoe ever created. That was like the creator's kind of brainchild, and it's an awesome shoe. I think that shoe is kind of like a heavy racing flat, something with a lot of cushion and protection, but it is fast when you really pick up the pace. So I'm glad you like them, Cindy.
Yeah, Cindy, thanks for your comment there, and I love your commentary there. It's like running on springy air.
That's it.
That's what
we're going for, man.
All right. Well, while people are out there running on springy air, I think it's important to note that a lot of folks, you only can get better if you know what you're doing, right? So data becomes really, really important. Understanding kind of how far you're going, how you map your courses, how you're timing yourself, how you're pacing yourself. And of course, at Omega Sports, our active play experts love the fact that we have a new Garmin smartwatch in our stores, and this one is available online at omegasports.com as well. And that is the Venue SQ. So Sam, if you haven't heard about this particular new Garmin that's come out, it's fantastic. And I'd love to quickly, as an instant fave, I want to share a video on the Venue SQ, which we just released earlier last week. And we are already starting to sell them online and in our stores. So I just want to give everyone another opportunity to check out the Venue SQ. And Sam, hey, this may be something that may be another tool in your toolkit as you race that Olympic marathon trial.
Thanks, man. I'm stoked to see it. So.
Sometimes life changes, but you push through. Get back to the basics and refocus. Because now is the perfect time to move. Introducing Venue SQ, the GPS smartwatch that's made for real life, only from Garmin.
So just a quick little shout out to Garmin with their new Venue SQ. We're super happy to have it in our stores. Here's some things I want people to realize about this. Number one, it's really made for anyone who is just looking to move more. And move more is going to be a major theme for us as we start heading into the holidays. We're coming out of summer. We're starting to now get closer to the holidays where perhaps maybe we are not going to be moving as much. And we want to remind people now's the time to continue to keep moving more. So the Venue SQ is also very affordable. So if you go to omegasports.com, you can check out the new Garmin Venue 4. We've got a lot of Garmin. So we are the destination for Garmin. If you are buying Garmin anywhere else, I really want to laugh at you in a very nice and pleasant and somewhat cocky way. Because you definitely should be buying Garmin at omegasports.com or in our neighborhood sports stores because you will earn fast rewards. If you're going to drop hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on wearable tech, you definitely need to take advantage of Omega Sports' faster Mega Rewards. We give you $5 rewards on every $50 you spend, As you know, Garmin can keep going up as you start looking for those more elite smartwatches. Why not make your money stretch further? Hey, Sam, you got another comment here from Ben Freeman. I think you know him out in Wilmington. He says, love my flows.
Oh man, Ben's the man. I love that guy, man. I don't know, he's just amazing for Omega Sports, and such a nice dude. He's always super welcoming. I mean, every Omega Play expert is welcoming when I come in the store, but yeah, Ben is he's a great on fan and just a great person, man. So shout out to Ben. What's up, Ben?
Yep, shout out to Ben. Ben's been part of our InstaPhase in the past. He's helped us with our Atrix, Albert fitting machines and some other things. So Ben's always been great. He's been a great sport. We love having him, and I love that he's got that informal flow. Like, I love my flows.
Shoot, yeah, he's rocking. I remember, the first time checking him out, and he was just so I don't know, perceptive, and he really receptive. He was just kind of really into it, asking a lot of questions. So I think I don't know, whatever store you'll go to, you'll find that like the fitters and the active play experts are always there to help, and really are trying to get you in the best footwear possible. So can't recommend him enough, and I cannot recommend Ben enough. He's a good dude. So. Yeah,
and I think it's important to just note the reason that I think Ben and what Sam is saying is important is that we have such a tight relationship with our brands. Sam's a perfect example of how he works with our active play experts. You allow them to ask you 10,000 questions. You demonstrate. You take them out for runs. You really kind of model what is really great for On, and that just makes us more confident in being able to let our customers know why we support On and why we recommend On.
Oh, for sure. 100%, man. I cannot recommend y'all enough. So, but yeah, man, that's so cool. I'm sorry. I want to backtrack too. So just speaking of the tennis thing, I wanted to kind of intervene when you were doing the tennis thing, but just let everyone know, if those who don't know, On has a investor in Roger Federer. If there are any big tennis fans out there, like Dell.
Why not drop his name?
So yeah, I mean, there's a few big products coming on the way, on some exclusive stuff and some stuff that's going to be launched and worldwide for everyone. So we've done these limited drops of this shoe called the Roger, which is a tennis inspired shoe from On, and coming later this month, we're gonna have a cool shoe. I'm so hyped behind these shoes, man. But as well as, we're always pushing our performance run and lifestyle and all our verticals, but we do have the Roger. So we'll be on the way soon. Very tennis inspired, very clean, cool look. So definitely some cool stuff on the way as well.
Some quick notes. That's for tennis fans, certainly Roger Federer fans, certainly On fans. It's inspired and designed with Roger's influence. It does have the same cloud technology, so it's light, and it's got the AirPods a little hidden because it's more of a lifestyle shoe, right? It's not an on-court shoe.
It is not a court shoe by any means. We've done a few limited drops of these, and they'll be available, more availability coming soon. But they are incredibly lightweight due to that cloud tech and those cloud elements. You're still going to have your speed board through the midsole of the shoe as well. So it's going to have that nice kind of fluid and just a smooth ride when you're walking in it. So it's an awesome shoe, man, and can't say enough good things about him.
I can't wait to come one. Yeah, but, don't hold back when now we talk about tennis. On now has a major player, literally a major player in the company that I don't know, maybe has a few points of influence in the tennis community, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah, more than that. But he's just I wish I could say, oh, I've met this guy, he's amazing. But I've just seen him on Zoom calls and stuff like that. But it's great to have his influence and his style and all of his input is amazing. So.
Well, Sam, when you're on the next Zoom call with Roger, just make sure that he knows that he can earn faster mega rewards at omegasports.com.
Oh my gosh, you got it.
Even Roger Federer wants to, stretch his dollar.
Oh, who doesn't, man? You'd be silly not to. So.
Yep. All right. Well, as we have shown now, the Garmin smartwatch, and of course, we've talked about tennis, some new tennis things, and of course, you guys have some things worked up in the tennis community as well. Really, again, I mentioned moving more. So as people are now actively getting out there, of course, races are now starting to open up. We're going to have tomorrow's email talking about our Cannonball Marathon, half marathon, 5K. There's some news that's coming out. We are scheduled to have our Mega Sports Cannonball on Saturday next week. So on tomorrow's email, we'll be talking about what you can find in our fantastic race that's happening in Greensboro. So tomorrow's email, check out that. But when people are moving more, we also want to help them stay better in recovery and with stretching. So of course, when we do InstaPhase, we always mention Dr. Clay Sankey with TruMotion Therapy. So I want to give him the floor or give him the screen right now to talk about how to better stretch your muscles. So let's jump into a TruMotion wellness share with Dr. Sankey from TruMotion.
If you've ever tried to stretch out a muscle knot, it can often feel like trying to pull the knot out of a rubber band. The more you stretch, the tighter and tighter it gets. When this is the case, when we have these focal areas of muscle tightness that we call muscle knots, it can often help to take it through some active movement while we put a little pressure on it, either with a foam roller or a lacrosse ball. So we're going to use the hamstrings as an example. You can take your lacrosse ball, put it right over that spot where you're feeling the tension, okay? You can push in kind of hard, not too hard, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna lightly take the muscle through its range of motion, and we're gonna do it actively, okay? Gently work through that muscle while actively moving it. And definitely hit that area below the tension, in that area above the tension as well. Go through a few movements like this until that tension dissipates.
All right, well, that's always a InstaFave for us. We love Dr. Sankey from TruMotion. If you're in the South Charlotte area, make sure you check out his website, TruMotionTherapy.com. You can also follow Dr. Sankey at TruMotion Therapy. Sam, he puts out fantastic videos. He shares a lot of advice on his Instagram. So I hope you're a fan. We love Dr. Sankey. He's always, he is an avid runner. He helps a lot of our Charlotte running community with their aches and pains and their injury. We love sharing all of his stuff. So I encourage everyone to follow him on Instagram at TruMotion Therapy. So Sam, have you done those types of stretches before?
I have, man. I'm guilty of, in college we did it a lot, but now not so much anymore these days. But I can recommend Dr. Sankey enough. I mean, I just watching these videos and just hearing about him. I mean, he's the guy to go to. So I'm a little lazy stretching sometimes.
Well, we'll talk about that because obviously that's a key part, and you certainly want to do the stretches yourself before you have to go to a medical expert like Dr. Sankey. That's why he puts out those videos. But a fun note, I don't know if you noticed what was on his feet, Sam.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's a big On fan.
Yeah. He rocks it well too. Looks so good. I think he had some black Cloud X's on. So I'd love to talk about it a little bit more. Yep.
So he's a big fan. I know we'll be doing some collaborations in the future with both Dr. Sankey and On. So be on the lookout for that. So let's talk about, Sam, we brought you on the show today to really talk about how to gear up for cooler weather. And as the temperatures are now starting to change, they're starting to get a lot cooler. There are some things that we want people to understand that, it's not the same old run anymore. You got to start thinking ahead and start planning out your day. So let's talk about, I know you mentioned in our pre-interview how to properly warm up before you head out in maybe a colder morning.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, just starting with keeping it super basic. I think as we head into these cooler temps, and if you're a big early bird, you're getting up at like 4:30 or 5, and getting out the door by 5:30 or 6. I think a big thing to do, like those first miles or even those first like few hundred feet, like your muscles are just sore. I mean, obviously you're a little tired, and it's just this big, just kind of shock to the system, right? So I think when you wake up, maybe you have a little bit of caffeine or have some tea or coffee, just kind of let your nervous system kind of wake up a little bit. But also just doing simple stuff in your home or your apartment, getting a foam roller, massaging your muscles, kind of warming them up a little bit, get that blood flow going. Even doing stuff like maybe you do some squats, you do 10 sets, 2 sets of 10 reps of a body weight squat, or do some push-ups or anything like that, just to get your muscles moving a little bit more and to get that coordination and your central nervous system really functioning. I think is pretty key. So when you get out that first mile or those first few hundred feet, you're not like, wow, I am dead. This stinks. I don't know how I'm going to do another 5 miles or however many miles you're going to go. So really waking up your body and get that blood flow going is pretty key, I think. And that's been super helpful for me, and it also just warms me up a little bit too. So it's not a shock when I go out in 30, 40 degree weather, or like 10, 20 degree weather in Connecticut. So yeah, I think that's a really simple thing to start with.
Yeah, I think it's simple. And I think people don't actually take advantage of that because they think they need to rush through and wake up to get that morning over with, get that morning run over with. And what I heard you say is, really simple, but it's actually, I think, something that we need to kind of put a stamp on, which is if it's colder in the morning, you definitely need to get your body temperature up, most likely before you head out there, because those first couple of miles are the ones that you're probably going to be like, oh, this is not worth it. It's too cold out here. Or I haven't dressed correctly, which we'll talk about how to really dress appropriately for the temperatures. But really waking up your body, doing some push-ups, doing some squats, getting that body temperature up, getting your body ready to do more physical activity can really set you up for success on colder mornings.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's it's pretty key in what I do, and I'd recommend it to anyone. I think it really just makes that first mile go by a lot better. So I would recommend doing stuff like that. And other simple tips would be check the weather. I think that's something that a lot of people don't do, but checking the weekly forecast and checking what it's going to be like just the night before in the morning, and maybe even laying out your clothes beforehand and getting into just a nice routine so you're not rushing in the morning trying to figure out, I'm going to wear this and that, and a lot of the time people just tend to overdress. And they end up just heating up, maybe a couple miles into their run. So another big thing too is, and a rule of thumb is, I think when you're running, you should dress like it's going to be 10 degrees warmer than it actually is. And I think you'll end up putting on less layers than what you had originally planned. So I think that stuff like that is pretty key. And it's just something so simple that makes a huge difference. So
yeah, I know that I always see in my own experience, when it gets cooler, I tend to want to be under the covers longer and I snooze more. So it is a deterrent. So I like what you said about planning ahead. If you already know what the temperature is going to be, if you already have your apparel or your clothes laid out, then you really have no reason not to get up. Other than that first mental stubbornness of get out of those warm covers and start getting into your gear and warming up your body so that you are ready to attack that run. I think those are all great tips. And as simple as looking at the weather, or I know sometimes I'll yell at Alexa and say, Alexa, what's the temperature going to be like? And then I really kind of plan accordingly my day.
Yeah, definitely. I think all that stuff is amazing. And another thing too, man, is, if you have a group that you run with, or if you have a buddy or gal pal, anyone, sorry, I just said gal pal. I've never said that before. But or if you have anybody like that, I think that's really key. And that kind of helps in that motivation aspect too, of getting out there, and you're like, yeah, you have each other to push each other, and you have someone else to keep you accountable. I think is really great. And as running through darker areas, and depending on where you are, I mean, it's safer, but it's also more motivating, and it's a little bit funner sometimes too when you have somebody to talk to, if you're, I don't know, if you run without music or with music or what have you. So I think stuff like that is awesome too. So definitely link up with other people. I know it's not always ideal, but if you can, I think it helps a ton.
Yeah, to know that you wake up and someone's going to run with you is quite the motivation. But you bring up a really good point on run safety. I mean, we always want to make sure that runners are safe, but especially when there's less daylight or it's darker, it's colder, it's probably got more moisture on the ground, early in the morning, you definitely want to let people know kind of what you want to map out your routes, right? That's a normal type of thing. You don't want to go and venture into new territories, darker mornings. You want to make sure that people know kind of what your route is, so just in case something happens. You also, I think running with a buddy is also a great way to stay motivated, but also to just have that extra layer of security or safety.
Oh, absolutely. And a little off topic, but shout out to Omega Sports doing, like Dan Keller doing his group runs and stuff like that on some mornings too. And if you can link up with awesome groups like they have, that's great. And y'all do such great stuff with Black Men Run and Black Girls Run too. I think, they have these amazing groups where people can collaborate. Maybe they don't work out with all the group at one time, but maybe a few members work out together. So I think Omega Sports does a great job in including the community as well.
Yeah, shout out to our head of running, Dan Keller. You gave him a quick little nod there. To a shout out to all of our Omega Nation runners that are out there. I know they're huge fans of On. But you're right. If there are running clubs in your community, every Omega Sports, and no matter what part of town, what part of the state you're in, we are connected to those running communities and those run clubs. So just ask your active play expert. Just say, hey, I'd love to start running with more people. I'd love to run in some groups. Especially in the morning. Do you have anything planned? And most likely we will say, oh, we've got this happening this Saturday morning. In fact, this morning alone, we've had running groups throughout our stores because that is a normal thing that happens on Saturday mornings at Omega Sports. So so shout out to all the run club people out there. I think that's another great kind of running tip, to run with someone if you can. Make sure that you understand the route that you're going on. Stay warmed up before you get out there. And, now let's talk about let's go footwear all the way up. So let's talk about footwear, Sam, because as people have been more active during the summer and putting out when the weather's hot and runners are loving it, they're running, they're putting a lot of miles, they're going to different run clubs, they're doing a lot of mileage on these shoes. Now's the time, as we start shifting into another season, to maybe reassess how many miles you put on your shoes. Can you talk to us about the importance of making sure that you're rotating out your shoes and you're refreshing them?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think first off, running on barren shoes or shoes that have just lost all their cushion is just not that good in any sense. It's a great way to get injured. So I would recommend going into Omega, checking with an active play expert, having them look at your shoes and see if it's time for a new pair. But as we mentioned before, as like more races are starting to pop open and stuff is starting to get back on the calendar, I think people are going to kind of catch that training bug and be like, all right, I need to get out there and slam some more miles and get in shape. So I think having a new pair of shoes, or maybe even two new pairs, just switching one from the other, is a great thing. So, I think On has a full lineup of, is it cool if I go into like On's footwear down south? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Do you?
Okay. But yeah, so I think having a new pair of shoes for your training is key and crucial. Just a great way to not get injured and getting fit for the right type of shoe. And On recently has had a couple big updates in our footwear lineup. So we have just updated a shoe called the Cloud Flyer and the Cloud X, which are two big staple shoes for us. The Flyer, which has kind of turned into one of my favorite shoes now, is a lightweight, moderate to kind of higher end stability shoe with a little bit more cushion as well. So that's a shoe that's going to be great for logging daily miles, or even doing some workouts in it. Feels pretty quick, but it's something that is with the update, we have put a lot more cushion. We put our proprietary super foam called Helion into our shoes. So it's much more durable than its predecessor. It's much more cushion and it feels a lot more stable. So it is a great go-to shoe if you need something to log up to, well, I mean, durability wise, it could probably take about 400 to maybe a little bit more miles than that. So that's a great update. The Cloud X is also updated, which is one of our cross training shoes, which can be used as a high-end performance running shoe as well. It's very fast feeling. It's great for the gym, but it's also great for those intervals on the track or tempo runs or any faster paced run. So those are two shoes that I would recommend. I switch between them pretty frequently, and I think they're a great training tool to have in your training kit. So having and follow the link sam.omegasports.com, and you can see all that footwear. And as do you want me to can I go up, Del, to like talk about the apparel? Or do you want to?
I want to just put a stamp on those two shoes. So our active play experts, our head of running, are huge fans of the Cloud Flyer. I mean, if you are a runner, the Cloud Flyer is a go-to shoe that we are telling people you need to try out. And then for all of the folks that are looking for at Omega Sports, you come in and you say, well, I need a good cross-training shoe. The cross-training shoe that Cloud X, the new generation, is one of those highly recommended in our stores all the time. So definitely take advantage of that Cloud X. Ask your active play experts about the Cloud Flyer and the Cloud X. All right, so now, Sam, we're going to move up and we're going to go into how to prepare with the right apparel.
Yeah, definitely. I think a big part of that too is, I mean, everyone is so different and it's really dependent on your comfort level. But for me personally, and from On's lineup, we kind of have something for everyone. So what I usually do is I'll if it's early morning and you're going out in some 30-degree weather, I'll put on some of our running shorts, and then I'll put our long tight over that. And it's not overbearing. Both pieces are incredibly lightweight. That tight is just going to offer protection, obviously, for your whole leg. So, when you go out in that brisk air, it doesn't feel quite as shocking as it typically would. And the nice thing too is, if you have your shorts under the tight, maybe you're doing a 10-mile run in the morning, and maybe you circle back to your house, you can just strip off the tight and then just run in your short the rest of the way. But I'm a big fan of, not overdoing it. I think, less is more sometimes. And, I think sometimes people will bag up, they'll get a shirt, they'll get a long sleeve, they'll get a hoodie, and then a weather jacket on top of that, and which are all great lightweight pieces. But sometimes you're doing a little too much. You're going to end up just overheating, maybe a mile or two into your run. So I really think, having, dressing, keeping that kind of that 10-degree warmer world than it typically is when you're working out is pretty key. So Omega is going to carry, your shorts and your long tight, which is a great piece. Again, you could use it in the gym, or you could use it on those colder runs, or even on those runs where you're just warming up, maybe for a track workout or something like that. So they're both really, really versatile pieces.
Yep, and I want to give a shout out to Sam. Actually sent his faves to us, and we created a link. So Sam got his own Omega Sports link. It's sam.omegasports.com. So all of the products that On has that are available at Omega Sports, Sam went through our website and selected what he would recommend. So definitely check out Sam's picks at sam.omegasports.com. And then, Sam, I just want to give more visual support and visual hype to On Running and their apparel, as you guys call your running essentials. Yeah. So we're going to put a quick video that kind of walks some folks through some of that beautiful apparel that you guys have put together.
It's perfect. Thank you.
I run. I put my sweatpants on right away to keep my muscles warm. The padded details help my knees relax, and the technical fabric helps me recover in complete comfort.
As the day ends and the humidity rises, the forest gets a chill in the air. It's good to be in gear that keeps me warm but lets me breathe. with clever features that keep out the chill if the temperature drops. That way, I can go for an extra loop without a second thought.
All right. Well, that was a clip of the apparel that On has available at omegasports.com. And I'm going to just make sure that our producer mutes me here. Sam, we've got all of those listed under sam.sports.com. We're going to also play that video on Instagram later today so that folks get a full view of some of that beautiful apparel. You guys always do things with such style at On. But really, I think the important thing that people sometimes, we look with our eyes and we fall in love with products, but then when we touch it and we feel it and we try it on, then we really understand the innovation and the real caring that On puts into manufacturing and creating these very high-end pieces.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I completely agree. I think there's so many like small, minute details that are put into each piece that until you actually try it on and, you know, I don't want to say go on a run for it, go with a run with it, but you'll really start to notice that, you know, I mean, how lightweight the material is. I feel like most of our pieces are very minimal, but they offer a great amount of protection. And it's almost like you're kind of in the best way possible, like you're wearing nothing, like it just feels like it's a part of you. So, and that goes for everything in that link I put and for all our pieces together. I mean, from the race shorts, which literally I'll have to check sometimes to make sure I'm wearing shorts, but also to our performance tees, our performance long tee, and stuff like that. I think it just feels like it's natural and it's part of you. And even the way the stitching is done anatomically to move with you a lot better is amazing. Everything is laser cut. So it's really a piece that can go the distance. It can go really fast with you. But it's also incredibly durable. Some of the materials we put into it wash extremely well. So it's one of those pieces where you won't notice like extra pilling or the materials won't start to fray or anything like that. So it's worth it to invest in some higher quality pieces, especially if you're going to be getting out there and training more and entering more races and just living a healthier lifestyle. So.
Yep, and I think it's important that what I heard is the word lightweight. So people sometimes confuse lightweight for less protection, less warmth, perhaps sometimes not even that comfortable. I know sometimes people say lightweight and then you start running and all you hear is like paper rustling, right? It's so thin, it's like paper. I will say when we tried on apparel, I remember making a comment saying I felt like it was so buttery. I mean, the fabric moves with you. It definitely doesn't have that crinkle noise pollution that starts to happen with some of that like thin material that's out there. This is really elegant material, and it really, really moves with you. And I think you said it feels like you don't have anything on, which is amazing. So it feels like there's nothing on, but it does actually give you warmth and protection. And then when your body starts to heat up, it starts to breathe with you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is, I mean, everything you just said is totally on spot. It's a piece that just feels so smooth, feels like it's a part of you. And when you do start to heat up and when you're in those longer miles, that lightweight, that lightweightness and how minimal and how like they put together the products, I mean, it pays off, right? It's not like you're wearing this big bulky, coat or anything like that. That's just going to encapsulate all the heat. All that moisture is wicked away, and no friction or anything like that on the body. So it ends up working really well, and it's something you can wear on race day or something you could wear for your normal training runs. So.
Yeah, and I think if you're running in cooler or colder weather, you already have the elements against you. Why wear clothing that's going to be against you as well?
Oh yeah,
like the you should really work with you.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I think it's great, man. And there's also I would just keep an eye out for Omega. So y'all do have some great stuff coming in for this fall and this winter. And part of those pieces, you guys are going to be getting a new trail breaker, which is really, really cool. It is something that's going to be kind of designed to be a little bit more on the trails, a little bit more rugged. It's still, like most of our pieces, a really lightweight piece, but it's durable, has a water repellent in the front, and then it's extremely breathable in the back. So it's going to protect you from all those elements coming at you. And then all that moisture is just going to be stripped away at the back. It's really awesome, going to keep you super warm on the trails. And, but again, speaking to what you said, it's very breathable and lightweight. So it's something you can really get moving in. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to have some awesome running pants and some other some cool stuff, some hoodies and some stuff that's just going to keep you a little bit warmer for those cool mornings and those cool evenings. So.
Yeah, what I like about it is that it's an investment in quality. It will last, so you're not investing in something that you wash it a couple times and you wish that you never bought it. Last, and as you're using it for cooler weather, as it starts to now get through the winter and starts to warm up again, you're going to have that kind of winter to spring moment where you'll be welcoming back all these lightweight kind of run materials again. So you get a lot of seasons out of the wear.
You do, yeah, you really do. I can't say enough how it is important to you. I know it's almost, you get the sticker shock when you see it. You're like, wow, really? I need to pay that price. But when you think about all the stuff and all the way it was made and the materials that are put into it versus maybe the something that's a little bit lower price point, I think, and not to say that stuff is bad, it certainly serves a purpose, but like you said, I mean, this is something that's going to last you a long time. You're paying a price, your point, for it up front, but then, a few months later, or even a year later, you still have that awesome go-to piece, and you're like, wow, I'm glad I invested in something like this. So I think it's a great investment, and the stuff really speaks for itself. So head into Omega Sports, get an active play expert to fit you, and I think the apparel will do the rest.
Well, and I think the key is it's called the Run Essentials, because you can invest in these, and literally you can go out on the town in it. You can run your errands in it. I mean, it's so light and breathable. Why would you want to leave your running pant or running shorts or running jacket behind and then put on something that's less comfortable? I mean, it really can go with you throughout the day. You can go to yoga. I mean, there's lots of things. I mean, our customers who've been investing in this have definitely felt that they have used it more than just the running. And they've done it. They've worn it around town. It's so stylish. They run around town in it.
Oh yeah, I kind of recall. It's so funny. I know I mentioned Dan Keller before, but he had gotten a pair of the running pants, and I think he wore it for a run, and he was like, "Oh, this is amazing! It feels so great!" And he wore it out, and then I think he said he slept in it as well. I think he probably washed it before. I know he washed it before. I mean, and he's like, it's the comfiest pant I've ever worn. I mean, I think they are very aesthetic. I think all our stuff is really aesthetically pleasing and it looks great, but something that's really versatile, but it is incredibly comfy, really soft on the skin. Like you said, Dell, it almost feels really smooth and buttery. And that goes into some of the materials we're putting in, like Tencel and some other polyamides. And it really, really works well with you. So, That's
Yeah,
that's great, man.
the one story is in the beginning of pandemic when everybody was in their jogging pants and kind of living in joggers for days and days and days. Dan was lucky enough to get a pair of the On pants, and he literally lived in them for days and days. He loved them. He told everybody how amazing these pants were.
Yeah,
And we did think, did you wash them? Did you? And I'm sure he did, but we joked him for a couple of days, saying that Dan is bragging about pants, wearing the same pants for days and days and days. All right. Well, I want to make sure that, so I want to end the show with a little bit more about your footwear, because obviously we have a huge fan base for On when it comes to footwear. I know you gave some shout outs to the Cloud Flyer and the Cloud X. Again, these are shoes that are designed for really day runners to elite runners. I mean, you really have technology that's built inside your shoes that I know I've seen firsthand. People get that surprise, they cannot believe how light this shoe is. Let's talk about the lightness of your shoe a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, with the X Flyer, everything in our lineup feels really fast. I think sometimes a great example was, I think somebody had mentioned the Surfer. Yeah, Cindy. That all of our shoes, they have I would not consider any of our shoes to be really plush. I think that they are what I would say like a direct cushion or really responsive. So in every single one of our shoes, we put something called the speed board. It is this full length, either made out of nylon or another material, but it's a full length shank that runs from the heel to the toe. And it almost gives the shoe like kind of a racing flat sensation, or just this really snappy, responsive ride. So the fact that we put that in every single shoe and pair that with not a lot of foam, but rather those cloud elements that are hollowed out, and not having a ton of foam at the base definitely helps reduce the weight of the shoe. It gives every single shoe this really fast ride. It feels really responsive, and you still feel all the support and cushion. Because I think sometimes people are like, oh, it's too light, there's not enough support or something like that. And that's really not the case at all. I think we just found a way to more efficiently cushion the shoe rather than just putting a huge block of foam under your foot. So cloud elements paired with that speed board are really going to give you a supportive cushion ride, not necessarily high cushion, but more direct cushion, so more firm and responsive. And you're going to get that in every single shoe model. Obviously, the Cloud X is going to be one of those lighter weight ones because there's less material on the upper. It's made for cross training and for some faster runs, versus the Surfer, which uses a ton of different material in it. But it has the speed boards made out of this material called P-backs, which is what we put in our racing flats, which gives it this really fast ride. So Surfer to the Cloud X, they're both going to kind of feel on the higher end of the spectrum, being really, really fast. So, yeah, I think in every single shoe, we don't want to put material that's unnecessary either. We don't put a ton of overlays in the shoe. We don't put a ton of foam. Everything, or in every part of the shoe, is essential. Just kind of like we do with our apparel. Like everything has a function and everything has a purpose. There is no extra overlay. There's no extra piece on the laces that doesn't need to be there. We want you to run as fast and as naturally as possible. And that's what we're going for. We're trying to put the fun and run. So kind of came at you with a lot of stuff. But
No, you ended it perfectly with the fun and run. Well, that's what we love about our friends over at On. You guys definitely have you have the shoes that we love pulling off the wall to put into our customers' hands. Whether they're already fans of On, you guys continue to make fantastic updates, or if maybe they haven't tried it on and they know, hey, I've heard at Omega Sports you have this new shoe that have these like pods on the bottom of them. Can you tell us more about it? Our active play experts are proud to be able to have that shoe in our stores, have those shoes in our stores, and to put in our customers' hands. So, and really, that really speaks to our relationship with On, with you, with Susan, with all the folks over at On. We love working with you guys. I enjoyed having you on the show today, Sam. I know you are probably deserving of a fantastic, relaxing weekend after running your race last night.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, Del. Thank you for having me on the show, dude. I love being on the show, and So, I mean, Susan and I greatly appreciate, I mean, everything Omega does for the community and with On too, and including us. So thank y'all. I'm sure, Del, you're excited for your weekend as well. But yeah, thanks so much. And I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Definitely check out Omega for some cool On apparel as temps change, and also some footwear, but also some Garmin watches and some other really cool stuff. So
Absolutely. All right. Well, Sam, you have a great weekend, and I'm going to go ahead and close the show.
sounds great.
All right. Take care. All right, guys. Well, I hope you had a good time with Sam from On. I always have a great time. He's a great guy. We talked about Susan. She's another representative. She handles all the sales for On in our area. We work very closely with her to make sure that we are selecting the right apparel. We are selecting the right shoes. She works very hard on our behalf to make sure that we have all the best things that On has to deliver for our customers in our markets. So big shout out to Susan. She's fantastic. We work with her a lot. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you learned. One thing that I didn't mention is that every piece that On has visibility elements as well. So as things are getting darker, less daylight means we need to make sure that we're also paying very close attention to our visibility. So definitely make sure if you're looking at some of that apparel and you're thinking, oh, those are in more muted, darker tones, every element or every piece that On puts out have very specific reflective elements that just the littlest insignia or the littlest element on the side of a shirt actually will brighten up when a car hits it or light hits it, I should say. So definitely make sure that you're checking out that apparel for the visibility as well, because we do get a lot of great feedback from customers who love the fact that you're not necessarily walking around looking like a highlighter marker. You actually look like you're wearing something that you'd wear to work or wear to pick up a cup of coffee. And then knowing that if it gets darker, you have that visibility brightness that will happen in these elements so that people can see, but they're not necessarily seen all the time. So anyway, just a big shout out to our friends over at On that are doing some fantastic things. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us. We are going to put all of these shows in our notes, or what we call our show notes, and we've got a new content studio that will be launching in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. We appreciate you having some time with us this morning. Thanks for all the folks that watched and left comments. Make sure you share this with your friends in your Facebook channels if you can. Join us every single week. We are here every Saturday morning with our Mega Wellness Show with lots of experts to come. Have a great weekend.